All right, welcome to my FX Buddies, the podcast. And I say podcast because there are other mediums in which you can partake in this information. And all of that good stuff will be in the more info, open description, intro info, something of that nature. If you see a prompt that says that, click on that. And important information is there, but mostly the link to the blog, because I always suggest you go to the blog because everything is there all in one place. The video after it's been, recorded, and the articles in full, and there's nothing, I don't have any extras, no images or videos of anything. It's been quite boring, but we knew that it would. But let me also state the blog is parked at myfxbuddies.blogspot.com. And that's the link that you would look for, but it's really long. It would have some of the words of the title and the date, and you would click on that, and it will take you directly to what you are looking at right here. This ugly yet functional blog. All right. So I did find some stuff. This actually came up Friday. And I feel like I forgot something, but I think that's everything, right? All right. This is, if this is true, okay, and enough time has gone by. That's my point of why I said this came out Friday. No one's refuting it. No one's like, oh yeah, you saw that, huh? It's like, so what? Get it done. And let's read what you'll see why I'm saying that. Organized plunder. Kurdistan's profits go to American parties and companies. Right, so that's the title. So here is the image I chose because this could be an American. Oh, there's the dog. I'm not sure why she's barking at this hour, but whatever. You guys like dogs, right? Okay. Um, this could be an American businessman's hand, right? And that's dollars. You know what? I'll pause and come back. All right. And this is Kurdistan's flag, and this is Baghdad's flag, and this is actually a pipe. This is, if you've ever read anything or you hear anything where they're talking about the gas flaring and the gas just goes into the sky. Well, yeah, that's what it looks like. But that was just the image that I could find for this. Okay, so economic analyst, there's his name, revealed on Thursday secret and unconstitutional clauses in oil contracts concluded by Kurdistan, KRG, right, with American companies. He pointed out these contracts are not in Iraq's best interests, but rather represent a systemic plunder of national wealth. And here's the best part. The agreements concluded by the regional government with American companies stipulate that 25% of the profits will be shared by the companies, while 75% will go to influential figures and ruling parties within the region, without a single dinar reaching the Iraqi state treasury. So do you see why Baghdad's like, hold up, you forgot something. We're supposed to get some of that money, right? And remember, the amount is huge. 110 billion over a certain amount of years, right? And so what you'll see, there's another article later saying how, oh, yeah, I know it looks that way, but these deals are good for all of Iraq. So, like I said, if this is true, and I haven't seen anyone come out, but they are in the middle of their holiday also. So we'll see. That is pretty devastating if it is true. Okay, here. U.S. calls on Baghdad to negotiate quickly. I bet, right? So what if it's unfair to you? So what if you're not getting a dinar? Get it done. U.S. calls on Baghdad to negotiate quickly. Iraq's independence from Iranian influence comes through Kurdistan's gas. And then there's, the people who have been uh, insinuating, what's another word? Accusing, pointing out the fact, whatever phrase you want to use there, that the Kurds are smuggling oil or money or both to Iran, right? And we know, if you're new, maybe 2 years ago, they actually, it might even be longer. It's longer than that because of where I was living when that story came out. It's about 4 years ago. They had books. They had books where it was proven. They would show in the book X amount of oil was delivered and we received X amount of dollars. But then there was another set of books that showed the true amounts. So they got caught. They did get caught. But anyway, so yeah, now years later, they're trying to do it again. The U.S. official continued, "We encourage Baghdad and Erbil to work together to begin gas production as soon as possible." All right, and there's more here, more background information, especially if you're new. All right, and you're going to see why some people are like, well, why do you talk so much about oil? Well, trust me, I don't want to. And in the past, I didn't. But I think that is actually a sign that we're getting close because everything else, there's no laws anymore. Everything's passed. Now we're down to the nitty gritty, the very last thing that needs to be solidified or whatever, right? Because the oil and the gas will have the rate. So if they're gonna display the contracts, then they're probably gonna have to display the rate, and that's what they're trying to keep under wraps, right? Okay, now this is nice, I guess, including artificial intelligence, the Association of Banks employing foreign expertise to enhance capabilities of banking sector employees. Okay, this article is good, except it's really good, right? They're going to train, they're going to be on the best, everything, highest, accurate, newest concept of technology and artificial intelligence, and they're going to be done by the end of the year. You see that right here? By the end of the year. So now they could be talking about the private banks because that is how it works. They do the state banks, whatever they're going to do, right? They're upgrading, doing whatever they're doing. The state banks get done first, then the private banks, then the Islamic banks. So don't let that freak you out. But it is what it is, right? And we'll know soon enough if then this right here is an even longer time frame. He emphasized, so they have to train, right? Oh, wait, this is good. So I'll just read this whole thing. Regarding bank automation, Al-Handal explained, work is underway and the world is advancing at the speed of light. That's true. Many Iraqi banks are working to keep up, but it's not easy because we have to train the humans, the dumb humans, right? They're slowing everything up. In the banking sector, need training and courses. The Association of Banks, in cooperation with the central bank, has launched ongoing courses for banking cadres, which is, just groups of people. But they will need some time, at least until the end of next year. So that's even longer. So yeah, that's like a mixed. Oh crap! What happened? That's like a mixed reaction article. Okay, let's see. I don't know if something weird just happened or not, but I'm not even gonna try to fix it. This crazy computer. All right, let's see. So Sudani still had good stuff to say about the that platform where they did the QR code, and he even everything, all the congratulations for the holidays, all of those messages, he's intertwining reconstruction and development and everything in with the happy Eid, happy whatever, congratulations, right? So, noting that the wheel of reconstruction will not stop. Eid is coming and our country is enjoying progress, prosperity, and development. All right. Economic Council broad interest from regional and international companies to participate in the Iraq Investment Forum. And it's mid-June when this happens. There'll be 250 investment opportunities will be showcased. So we don't know how many people are going to be there, but look at the groups. Investors from inside Iraq, companies and countries from the Gulf, the Middle East, Europe, America, and Arab countries. So much of the world, right? Not all the world. No China, no anything like that. So yes, you can read the rest of that if you'd like, because it is kind of interesting. This is good. This is good for them, for their country. The first plane lands at Mosul airport, highlighting rebirth of the former is capital. So if you don't remember, or if you knew, Mosul was where is they pretty much took that over. It is a very historical city. I forget, it used to be called something else until, whoever named it, Mosul, named it that. But they had this ancient mosque and minaret. And when the forces that were tearing down Daesh, I'm going to say Daesh because that's what Iraq calls them and the people that I'm hiding from, right? They don't know that. Okay, so the international coalition that took down Daesh, they finally broke through that stronghold. It was booby trapped, but that's not the right word. But you know what I mean. So the whole city had, it was set up to take as many people out as possible, right? Including the minaret. So when that fell, it was like two things. It was very sad and devastating, but also it was good because that meant they had gotten in and taken over Daesh, right? So they have rebuilt it. It's not as ornate as it was before, but the fact that Mosul is developed and the airport's open is they've come a long way, right? And then of course there's people complaining about that, but I didn't even bother to post that. And they were taking selfies and everything, and I think that's what they were upset about. The people that were upset, but you know what? Whatever. All right, so this is what I was talking about. The U.S. State Department intervenes in the crisis between Baghdad and Erbil, but I think we intervened enough, right? 25%. But yeah, So to me, that's funny. I'm sure no one else finds that funny, but I do. All right. And it's not unlike, let me see. They have done things in the past where they're like, yes, we put this on paper, but there's also these other terms that you haven't seen. So it could be that situation too, but also with the elections coming up, maybe someone's trying to get a feather in their cap, right? So I don't know. Anyway, okay, so they still have not announced the next round of talks, but they made this announcement that the Sultanate of Oman will announce the date of the next round of negotiations with the U.S. So maybe the delay is the holiday. That's my phone that went off. There's my one commercial. I shouldn't have done that. Okay, buy me a coffee. Thanks, thanks, thanks. All right. So these articles came out today. And now look, I just thought this was interesting. We went from one thing saying not a dinar is going into the state's treasury, and then they have this out. 140 trillion dinars enter the Iraqi treasury in 1 year, 91% of which comes from oil. So that's better than 95 or 98 where it was before, right? So I'm not gonna click on these because when I click on them, it seems to be causing something to not respond. But here, I'm reading, you can see my arrow, right? Iraq needs major economic reforms focused on diversifying the economy, improving spending efficiency, and combating financial waste to ensure a sustainable economic future. And they're working on it, right? All right, so that came out. Matter of fact, who is that? It's not Mohammed Saleh. The Ministry of Finance. I'm not sure. Here it is. An economic expert, Mohammed Al-Hassani. All right. Now this is good. Okay. A lot of this that's happening with Syria is historic in certain books that only certain people read. Notice I said books. So I find this. I don't want to use the word interesting because you guys know I use that like way too much. But I hate using the word fan. What's the word that people use? And I hate that word too. Fascinating. Oh, it irks me. That's like one of those things. What a pet peeve when people say, "Oh, that's so fascinating." No, it's not. Nothing is fascinating. But anyway, sorry. Okay. All right. But anyway, so insert another word other than interesting here. It is historic, and it's almost like some of this is an American guy. What's his name? Corey Mills. He's the first U.S. lawmaker to meet with interim Syrian president. Yeah, we'll see how long he's interim for him to he gonna step down. Like, oh, wait, you thought, oh, no, mm-mm. But anyway, we'll see. But it's Damascus, and, it's very historic. But anyway, so a lot of people still don't want to meet with him because just a short while ago, he was not a good person. He was al-Qaeda, right? Um, he had warrants for his arrests in certain countries, like Iraq. He had a $10 million bounty on his head, like here for us. And now all of a sudden he's president. And he didn't go to that last thing. What was the thing in Baghdad? The summit. He didn't go because he didn't think it was safe for him. So not everyone wants to meet with him. But if you read this down at the bottom, they're like, well, the American president met with him. So everyone should feel good about meeting with him, right? But yeah, so that'll be an ongoing saga for I don't know how long. Now, this was a really big story because it seems to be a surprise that it happened, but I doubt it. He's a prince about to be a king. His probably every move is pre I don't want to say premeditated, but you know, they know where he's going and when he's going to be there, and but it is good for Iraq. So this is Crown Prince bin Salman Aziz, all that other stuff you have to call him. And this is the House Speaker of Iraq. His name is Mahmoud. Oh, he's a doctor too. Look at that. Mahmoud Mashhadani. They met there. And look at, there's the military, like, don't do any funny business. So that was good. But it's not an official meeting, right? They just happened to meet. And of course, what did they talk about? Bilateral relations and ways to enhance cooperation to serve the interests of both peoples. So that was a big story in Iraq's news today. This was a really big story in Iraq's news. Iran claims massive intel breach into Icecreamland's nuclear files, like images, plans. What is it? Plans. Blueprints. Blueprints. If it's true, I don't know. Or could it be a tactic? Don't you dare come after us. We have plans of where all your stuff is, right? I don't know. But it's a big story. Even, I think the Wall Street Journal may even have a story about it. Yeah, so. What is this? The results of the Baghdad Development Summit on Iraq will be revealed soon. Iraq does not want to make the results ink on paper like the previous Arab summits, but rather wants to translate those results into reality, especially economic and developmental issues, and for this reason they will be translated soon, especially in Iraq. And there's more good stuff. Iraq has become a fertile economic and development land, and just more of the good things to say about a country. So yeah, we'll see. So remember, they have, I think tomorrow is the end of Eid. I'm not sure, but it doesn't matter because they have other holidays. They have other holidays up until the 15th. But I am hoping that the news will get back to normal tomorrow. But yeah, look, and even as I speak, they're showing them out. Let's see. Then that could be now. They're out shopping. But anyway, I think, is this the last article? Okay, no, this is a weird little article. So there's the person's name. He says Iraq needs to create a more attractive investment environment. And then here's a company, which I could look up if I had time, but it seems to be what is this part? The motors. It's not the whole truck. It's just the motor part and the part that you would put the cargo part. Forgive me, I don't know the right names. But if you can see the picture, it's not 18-wheeler size. And it doesn't even really say. It doesn't say who's talking, where they're talking. I mean, his name is here, but who is he? Is he affiliated with this company? I don't know. It's weird. It seems like there's more to it, but this was all they wanted to put out. But I do like that it says the private sector has begun providing all the equipment required for work in all sectors, and this is credited to the efforts of the national private sector. So, they need to develop the private sector, which since as long as I've been in this, they've been talking about activating and developing the private sector as long as I've been waiting for the rate to change. So it's a discussion, not just by me, but others as well, that when the rate changes, the private sector will be fully unleashed, right? Okay, and I think this is the last. Oh, that's very large. I think this is the last article. And this is just another little, spy thing. Okay, another story. Now, you see who it's coming from. It's coming from Icecreamland News. And it could be retaliation to the other article that I just told you, where they released saying that they have documents and blueprints of where their facilities of certain energy, right? That starts with new. Okay. So Icecreamland was like, oh, okay. You want to put that out? Well, look here. We have proof that dollars are getting smuggled to you, right? And so here's an article. So, and it's about a shadow banking network, which, we know. But very quietly on Friday, we put sanctions, more sanctions, I should say, on Iran, including some entities and people in the UAE and Hong Kong. Oh, that's some people, kids outside. So this might be true. This might be true. I don't know. I don't trust anything now, but there's probably some truth in here. If not everything being true, there's probably some truth based on the fact, it is a fact, that we did just put more sanctions on Iran for smuggling, and you can look that up on the treasury site, whatever. I don't get into all of that. But so then it says to view the text of the report, click here, but you don't have to. I put the report here for you. So yeah, so if you want to read that, just so interesting, right? Oh, there's that word again. Then you wonder why they make spy movies like they do and things, because real life, there are things being done like that. Okay, so we're done. Yep, so that was real exciting, wasn't it? But, I wanted to post today because hopefully tomorrow will be there. I could show you this, but let's see. No, you know what? I'm not, because we're going to might go over 30 minutes, but there's a lot of business articles out. Like this guy right here, catch 16 and the resumption of oil exports. But it's all what if, what if, what if. And we already know, yes, it's been held up for almost 2 years. Yes, they're short $20 billion, right? We know the problems. So how many reports can you read on that without losing your mind, right? Here's some more memorandum of understanding with ISOFT, SESOFT, I don't know, and ZK Holding. Iraq is close to an agreement with China on a reactor, right? Youth calls on youth to lead Iraq's environmental transformation. This was on TV. So there's all this stuff. Iraq announces major banking sector overhaul. So this was in Britain. That was the IBBC thing. But it's all the same. It's more of the same that we know. We need them to change the rate, right? You want new news? That's the new news. Change the rate, put the lower denoms out, right? All right. So thank you. Yeah, all that. Thank you for the likes. The likes are still working. The likes, 5-star on Spotify. Join, subscribe, follow. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. And enjoy the rest of your weekend. If there's nothing post-worthy tomorrow, I won't post again until Monday. All right? Everything's good on my end. I hope everything's going good for you. Accumulate while we wait for the rate to appreciate. Don't miss any meals. Pay all your bills. Oh, and I forgot. Cash out if you'd like to. If you'd like to support me. $sign Tishwash. T as in Tom, I, S as in Sam, H, WASH. And thank you to those who have. And I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I'm not, right? Yeah. So enjoy the rest of your morning, night, noon, whatever time frame you are indulging in this content. And until next time, thank you.